Hi everyone, my name is Namgyel, and on this call I am joined by Wangchuck, who will be the lead coordinator on this project, and also Nirpa Raj, who's been helping with the logistics and the operations of this challenge. I am also joined by our collaborators, Fab Academy, so Anastasia and Claudia are both here, and also from the Royal Textile Academy we have Tashiyanki and Nitin Durji. I think you can move on to the next slide. So in collaboration with the Royal Textile Academy and also Fab Academy, we've decided to come up with a challenge that's a little bit more focused on culture and design. So I think even before moving on to talking about Bhutanese textiles, we understand that textiles in themselves are very unique art forms because they hold so much of a community's culture, heritage, and history. And we also recognize that the people that participate in culture through traditional crafts, so like weavers and other craftspeople, they've sort of evolved to become owners of such skills that have been passed down through generations. So with this collaboration and this challenge, we're really emphasizing the importance of preserving such crafts. And so later we'll discuss like whether this is through innovation to produce like new and novel ideas and techniques, or just to solve existing problems, just to improve the process for these people. So I think moving on to the next slide. So moving on to Bhutanese textiles in themselves, Bhutan currently has 13 traditional arts, and this includes weaving. And traditionally, weaving is taken up by women. For most, it's a source of livelihood. So if you take a look at a lot of these pictures, you'll notice that much of the equipment is made out of wood. And so we've actually worked with the Royal Textile Academy to come up with issues that we can solve in weaving itself. So Mitali, next slide, please. So we've identified two problem areas, the first being the more traditional processes. So these typically are very manually taxing and quite outdated. There is, in terms of the material and the equipment, a lot of it is made out of wood. So that's like the main material that's used in the construction of traditional equipment. And this is prone to damage by water or even insects. So usually these looms and accessories are also not readily available, and they're also not very portable. So I think building it locally takes about at least a week. And this doesn't include like building of the other accessories outside of the weaving. So and outside of the weaving, all of these processes are very manually taxing, they're very outdated. A lot of people, they just use whatever is readily available and readily accessed. So there's also no standardization in terms of design across different weavers. So what we're looking for is to make the weaving process durable, efficient, and also user-friendly. So in collaboration with RTA and Fab Academy, what we've come up with is sort of a challenge designed around 3 different steps. So the first is that we really, through the connection with RTA, want the people that are applying to this challenge to be able to meet the local craftspeople and to learn and explore the traditional techniques and also learn about the issues that kind of plague weaving in Bhutan. Once this is done, we'll move on to ideating. So I think we're looking to work with people from very diverse backgrounds. Sorry, can you mute?
DGI Fab Lab, could you please mute?
Okay, thank you. And so we've kind of identified 2 different themes that we want our team to work within. So this is where the development of these solutions come up. So if you go on to the next slide. We're going to be working with our team to redesign traditional tools to become more efficient and solve issues that local weavers face. We're also looking with the collaboration from Fab Academy to design and prototype new ideas that incorporate technologies into traditional textiles. So these are the 2 thematic areas for our challenge. So in terms of expected outcome, we're really hoping that through this challenge, we'll not only be able to provide more tangible results, such as like redesign traditional tools, prototypes that fuse local and international knowledge, but we also want to come up with new ways to engage with traditional textiles. So this can be opening it up to a larger subset of the population that might be interested in technology, but not so much textiles. So if you go to the next slide, I think our last slide is talking about the intended impact. So first of all, because Bhutan generally has a smaller population, and because even within that small population, there's a very smaller subset of people that actually practice these traditional crafts. There's a very big there's a very, very big problem of like Bhutanese art actually being lost forever. So as more and more people lose interest in the traditional crafts, all of Bhutanese art tends to be very endangered. Moving on to the knowledge exchange and the upgrade of traditional tools, I think we're also really looking forward to using this challenge as sort of a platform for an exchange of knowledge and values. As much as we want people to come in and provide more technology and more newer techniques to older traditional techniques, we also want people to take away from this whatever they can learn from Bhutan and kind of incorporate it into their own communities. And finally, like I mentioned earlier, we are looking also to open up Bhutanese traditional techniques to a larger population. Even within Bhutan, I think this is a really cool way of creating that intersection between technology and tradition, and making sure that a larger population is able to engage with and access whatever prototypes come out of here. So if you can move to our last slide. So I think maybe just to go over the challenge hosts, in order to provide the technical expertise and also all of the machines, we have the Jigme Wangchuck Super Fab Lab. Like I mentioned, the team consists currently of Tsering Wangzong, who's also on this call, and Nerpa. And so we'll be handling most of the design and the coordination, and also the providing the technical expertise in the machines. Next slide, please. From the Royal Academy, currently we have Tashiyanki and Netin Dorji. And so they're going to be providing a lot of the context to the local issues. They're going to be providing access to the local craftspeople. And finally, I think we can move on to the next slide. And finally, we have Fab Academy, who will be helping to provide their own technical expertise. So they'll be working with us to provide solutions that might have worked in previous projects that they've done. And they'll also help to facilitate the solutions that we come up with during this challenge. And so last slide, yeah. So we'd like to invite you to take on the challenge and help us revolutionize the Bhutanese textile industry. And we're also looking to create more sustainable and innovative solutions for the future. Right. Thank you so much.